Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm Manny Vitale, host of My Fight or War, Manny Vitale's Wolfpack, and I am coming to you live from the comforts of this awesome studio. I was out doing a little run around earlier, and it's a little bit warm out there, so I was enjoying some of that weather and got all my run around done, and decided to call it a day. So came home and took care of the wonder dog Susie, and just looking at some of the things I got going on. I then got a call from Henry Ford, from my surgeon. Um, for those of you who saw some of my stuff earlier, tomorrow is not only the start of the Olympics, it's also another surgery for me. I swear I should get my own wing, my own whatever. Um, Tomorrow they call. They've got to be at the hospital. You got to be there 7:30 tomorrow morning to have surgery on my left hand. Um, Very minor procedure. I've had issues with both my hands just from getting all busted up over the years, and issues with tendons, ligaments, and all that stuff. And they have been shooting both hands up for about the last year and a half or so. And just like with anything, like with my knees and back and shoulder and everything, you can only treat the symptom for so long. Then you got to treat the problem. So unfortunately, the only thing left is surgery on hand. But on the other hand, fortunately, they can fix it with surgery. It's very simple procedure. They said it's like not even 10 minutes in and out. Free up the ligaments, tendons in my left hand, along with carpal tunnel issue syndrome, so they can free that up as well. So I'm looking forward to getting that taken care of because, over the years, I've heard a lot of friends who were dealing with hand issues and carpal tunnel issues, and just talking about the different things that they're experiencing from everything from, pain, tingling, numbness, and everything that goes along with it. And lo and behold, after years of abuse with mine, started having the same thing. And I was like, yep, now I can say I kind of know what you're dealing with. And so I'm looking forward to getting it taken care of because, you can only deal with it for so long. I mean, it's getting to the point where I couldn't even freaking tie my shoes or my sweats or anything like that because you can't feel the string, the fingertips. But all is well. It'll be taken care of tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to getting that out of the way. And I was sitting there just looking through the pages on Facebook and all of the just incredible people that I have gotten to meet since coming on Facebook and social media from the beginning, but even more so ever since starting my fight or war and now the Wolfpack and the people who have helped along the way. Um, we all have and no matter what it is, whether it's uh, the goals and the things that we set in our own lives that we want to do and accomplish. Um, you bust your ass to achieve these goals and accomplishments, whether it's work or personal, professional, whatever it is. You want to do the best you can and be the best at it, whatever it is. Whether it's being the best dad, the best husband, wife, best employee, the best friend. You always want to strive to be the best you can be. And when it comes to dealing with this stuff here, as far as doing podcasts, doing shows and live streams and reels and videos, I came in here completely blind, but I knew that there was something there. There was a passion that I have never felt before. Once I started really diving in to certain issues, and this is when I first started my fight or war. Uh, the first probably 2 3 months, it was a lot of posts, a lot of messaging, a lot of messenger back and forth, and it was, I mean, I think I slept probably, if I slept 2 hours a night, that was a lot because I was just so fired up. Um, and the response that it got, and then just never doing something like this before, seeing the interaction with everybody was such a incredible thing to witness. I've never started a group, an organization, a company. I've not, anything ever in my life. So I didn't have anything to, from the past to kind of build off of, and to, what I've done in the past. So, when you say you went in blind, I went in totally blind, but I didn't care because in the past there was a lot of, I was very, very good at just a lot of, I'll do it, and I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. It was just a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, and then followed by a whole lot of nothing until I made that decision on January 9th of 2023 to start my fight or war. And we've all heard the saying that, it's not our time, it's in, God's time, God's will, and everything, that things happen. Well, you know, until something happens to you, you kind of think sometimes it's just words. And for me, I when I got the news back in January of 2020, about my condition when I was in the hospital, when the doctors came in the room and informed me that my kidneys and pancreas and liver all shut down, and that I was going to die. Then fast forward to the following week and the whole story, but I'm still here. By the grace of God and his blessings, I'm still here. You would think that being blessed like that, like I was, that as soon as I was up and around and able to do something, I would have done something like a lot of people will think that my fight I started like as soon as that I got out of the hospital, as soon as all that happened to me. And that's not the case, man. I still, um, I said I was going to do something. I said, you know what, you talk about meant to be put in a position to help other people from the things that have happened to me and pay it forward. This is it. This is the time. And I remember saying, I want to do something that's going to help people by sharing my story, and by, just listening and giving and taking, and, give and take between our stories, and, trying to help other people along this journey, to let people know that they're not alone. I mean, it's a great idea, a great thing to do, and something that should have been done, without question. And it still took me 3 years. And at first, it kind of upset me. Even after I started my fight or war, it upset me. It was like, why didn't I do this? I mean, there's this great feeling of, pride and passion of doing this, and still just I'd get pissed. It's like, why didn't I do this as soon as I got out of the hospital? Why didn't I do it then? Because it wasn't time. It wasn't meant to be then. For whatever reason, the next 3 years were very frustrating. A lot of emotions going on, and when it's like the saying says, when it's God's time, when it's time, then it'll happen. I believe that thoroughly, because that's what happened to me. 3 years of back and forth talking shit, until one day, sitting there in my living room, and out of nowhere, I just get up with this intense feeling uh, that something was going to happen that night. At that moment, I knew something, because I was thinking about, again, starting an organization, or a family, a support group. I walk into the kitchen, sat down, pen and paper, less than 10 minutes, the name, the logo, the catchphrase, everything was done in less than 10 minutes. It was like, if that's not God's will, then I don't know what is. But, so as I said, I started with just making a group, turning it into a family, just setting it out there, what it was about. And just see what happens. And next thing you know, a couple people chimed in. By the end of the week, there was, 30, 40, 50 follower members started, joining. And, I was just like, holy crap, this is, I didn't know what to expect, but it was great. So it was a lot of back and forth communication from people, and it was from people all around the world. We had people, we still do, Dean from Ireland, from people from the Philippines, the Netherlands, and all that, all over the world, who are part of our amazing family. And I'm sitting there watching this family grow right before my eyes. Was the most rewarding feeling. One, I've never done anything like this. And usually, stuff, I would, in the past, I took the easy way on everything. The easy way out, instead of doing stuff 100% on my own, most of the time I was looking for help from anyone and everything. But even more than that, well, why don't you do it for me? It was a lot of laziness on my part, except for this time. This time, I did 100% of it all on my own. Sink or swim, I was going to do this. And that's what happened. And here we are. January 9th will be 2 years for us. And I am so blessed, happy, proud, and grateful for every single person. And, even though I started this and did all this on my own, I would never be where I am and where we are now if it wasn't for obviously all of you. And I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at as far as doing this stuff with the podcast, the shows, the live streams, the videos, if it wasn't for a lot of people's help that took me under their wing and guided me along the way. And, like the landscapers are here, so hopefully it's not going to get too freaking loud. We might have to cut this short, but so just thinking about that, there's, like I said, we do what we can on our own because, a lot of it is pride and determination just to show that we can do it. We are very proud, determined, and focused. And, even when it comes down to everything that we're doing, even with recovery or whatever it may be, people can help along the way. The bottom line, it's up to us. So when we get to that point where recovery, we are there and we are living lives happy and healthy and now helping other people. That's why I always tell people, look where you are now compared to where we were before, and take a second and be proud of yourself. But at the same point, I wanted to definitely, I was thinking about all of the people who helped along the way, as well as far as the shows and podcasts and all that. And, just like I always say about family and friends, how important it is for me, tell people how you feel, man. Tell the loved ones in your life every day, every second you can that you see them, at the end of the conversation, man, I love you, man. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you're doing, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be some long, drawn out, dramatic thing, man. It's just, I love you. You know, I, I hope you guys saw the piece that we did, myself and Sean Hunt. Very, very wonderful, wonderful woman who tragically lost her son on January, I believe it was January 14th, to he was shot and killed in Pontiac at 27 years old. And we did we did a video yesterday. I aired it last night, and the pain that she is feeling, you could feel it through the camera. It was just heart wrenching. And that's one thing she said is every day, the I love yous, and then, the hugs. He was a hugger and all these stories. And now he's gone. And just like I said before, when I was with the police department working EMS and all that, I went to, there's unfortunately a lot of the scenes that we went to. Unfortunately, there were some that were ended in tragedy when there was a victim who did not make it. And then there were family and friends that were notified. And between the sobs and tears, and um, I can't even tell you how many times I heard I wish I could have, I wish I had one more one more time to see him. I wish I would have said I loved you one more time. I wish I could have seen him one more time. And you know, just we don't know. Just like Sean told me that yesterday, that day, she was telling all of us how that day went. That he was getting ready to leave. He was a singer, an artist, a rapper, a musician, and he was heading to Pontiac to the studio, which he's always done. So typical normal day, getting ready to leave, and said goodbye to his mom. She said goodbye to her son, and they shared their "I love yous" to each other, and off he went. Door shut. She never saw him again. And when that door shut, that was the last thing. It didn't enter mine. It doesn't enter any of our minds when when we walk out the door to go to work in the morning. You don't think, "Oh my God, this is the last time I probably shut this door." You know, that day in the hospital when they told me back in 2020, when they woke me up that morning, I sure as hell didn't expect to hear, "Manny, you're going to be dead in 6 weeks." It's things that happen, and that's why I'm so big about just telling people, family, friends, whoever it is, how much they mean to you, how much you appreciate them, how much you love them, man. Because I don't want anyone to be hurt and living in regret and pain and suffering, and so and as far as the people who have helped me along the way in the past, the old me, I could care less. I didn't give a shit about anything or anybody. And now looking back, I think about the way I was, the things I did, the way I acted, and it just makes me sick. So now I make sure to let people know, because I don't want to have that regret. I don't want to have that hanging over my head. And so I was just thinking about all this stuff as I'm sitting in the studio, as I'm sitting out wherever, doing some of these live shots. It was like, there's so many people that have helped me. And right now I just wanted to, give a shout out, because some people helped me by giving just some nobody, a chance to come on their show and tell my story. Didn't have to. They could have gotten someone, better than me. There was, someone who maybe was, someone who was known, maybe a celebrity figure or whatever the case may be. But these people gave me an opportunity to come on their show and tell my story. And that means a lot to me, because by doing that, it pushed me to come on and start my show and to do the same thing. So I just wanted to take a few minutes here and just share some love to the people who shared that first opportunity with me, and allowed me the opportunity to come on their show, to tell my story, to start my journey as a host of a podcast show, and to see where it went, man. So first and foremost, when my very first one, I wanted to thank Brad McLeod from Sober School. You know what? Sent a couple messages back and forth, few text messages, and little information. And next thing you know, we're having a conversation, and boom, let's do it, Manny. And even though that he knew that he was going to be my very first one, and I had no idea how I was going to react, he didn't know if it was going to be 10 minutes of like just dead air. But he didn't care. He gave me that chance, and it went from not knowing to an hour and 45-minute show, and it just rolled. It went great. So we are still very close. We don't talk as much as we used to, but with all our busy schedules. So I just want to thank you, Brad McLeod from Sober School. Gave me that first opportunity, and And to show what a good, person he is, I mean, he could have just left it at that. But I remember after the show, he said, because I told him, man, you know what? I love this. I want to do another one. Let's do another show. I want to do this. I was hooked that very first one. And he said, how amazing the show went. And I just thought he was being nice, the politically correct thing to say. We talked for probably a good another half hour after the show ended. And after he found out that I wanted to start my own show, I wanted to be a host, I wanted this, I want, and I wanted it. And I knew I was going to do it because I've never felt this passion. And he said, you know what, Manny, your life is about to change. And it kind of caught me off guard. And this was months and months later, we were talking. And this is when things started really taking off for me. And I brought that up to him. And he said that he knew just from the passion that he saw and heard in me and the way that the show went, he said it was meant to be. And that's what he meant. And so I really thank you a lot, Brad. And then in turn, like I said, he could have just let that be. But he said, you know what? I've got some friends of mine who are on, they do live stream shows. Everything's live with them. Hard Knocks with Dan and Donna. So he got a hold of them, told them about me. And they in turn, I sent, my story to let them know, what they were in for, man, that I wanted to, be a guest on their show. And lo and behold, man, there I am on their show. And again, I was just me, just let it rip, man, because Dan, they were both, they're like, well, how many of these have you done? And I go, well, Dan, counting yours, this is my second one. So of course, you want your show as a host to be perfect, and you want your guests to be comfortable and do the best they can. And Dan was just like, oh, okay, well, I remember he said we're going to shoot a promo or something like that, and I was just like, we're going to shoot a promo. What's that? How do I do that? What do I do? I mean, they keep forgetting that I had no clue, and that was the first one I've ever done, and it was for Dan and Donna at Hard Knocks. And he said, I just want you to tell your story like within a 2-minute little blurb, just boom. He goes, I want you like your day, what a typical day for you, like, but the intensity of it. And then he goes, it's kind of like a car crash when you can see it's about to happen, how you can't stop, watching. You don't want to look away, but you look away and you don't. And he said, right before the crash, which was the promo, he goes, I want you to stop there. Then it leads into the show. So I'm sitting there with the deer in the headlight look like, what? So I can't remember how he worded it again, but it was basically like, from when you get up in the morning, to create the crazy ass day that you had, just kind of sum it up. And next thing you know, he's gone, and all I see is my face, and I see the countdown. So I start talking, and I have no idea where it came from, but I started talking about how my day started, what I did, how I did things, the crazy madness from the shooting, the stabbing, to all these other things rolled up into like a less than a 2-minute little blurb. And all of a sudden I stopped, and a few seconds later, all of a sudden he appears back on the screen, and he's just staring, not saying anything. And I was like, oh man, I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. And I go, Dan, I'm sorry, man. Let's try it again. And he started laughing. And I'll never forget, man. He goes, Manny, man, you're a natural. And he said, that was perfect, man. He goes, you spoke from the heart. And it was a one take, done. And that was the first one. And I'm very, very proud of that promo. It's on Hard Knocks show. If you guys go to Hard Knocks and you punch up my show with Dan and Donna, you'll see the very beginning. And a lot of it is the editing that he did. It was absolutely incredible as well. So that's all on him. But So that just goes to show you, Dan and Donna from Hard Knocks, thank you so much, for everything you've done. And by doing this, I'm hoping people, maybe reach out to Sober School and Brad McLeod, reach out to Dan and Donna over at Hard Knocks, share your stories, and promote their shows as well, because that's what they've done for me. So that's what for all those people who have helped me out, gave me a chance. I've told all of you before. I said, listen, man, it's for me, it's like, I'll do this for you, but what do I get? That's not me. That just, it never has been me. Even my asshole days, that wasn't me. You know, I got your back, man. If you are a true friend of mine, and you do the stuff like these people have done for me, I'm there for you, man. I got your back. And we hear that, unfortunately, so much in life. And unfortunately, so many times it's just freaking words, and people just say shit to try to get shit. And, but you know what, it is what it is. And, but that means a lot to me. And, so, from there, of course, then there was Jared and Jared Blaine and Brianna over at Blacklist, went out of their way to come to my home and did a show from my home. So didn't have to do it. They had, all these other things going on, but they did it, and they took time, and they made time for me, even though it took all this time away from their busy ass schedule. You know what? So, Jared and Brianna from Blacklist Podcast, they need some loving too, man, for all that they've done. And I really appreciate it. And um, who else we got? Cat over at Sober School. And you talk about a chain of events too. Here, not only was I on Cat's show at Sober School, but through that, I ended up meeting other people as well. And that was because she got a hold of me. I was just finished up a show, and she called and she said, listen, man, I've got this guy coming on. He's got an interesting story. Might want to come on, check it out, man. So I said, okay. So I popped on their show as a third guest or second guest as well, to do a three-way panel. And ended up having a really good conversation. And that person ended up being David Riggins, and over at Heel Nation, or I'm sorry, over at Heel. And, after talking to him as well, first it was just Kat at Sober Patrol, did her show, developed a good rapport with her. Next, she's calling about her show that she was having with this other gentleman on there. And so thank you, Kat at Sober Patrol. And, from there, like I said, David Riggins, who in turn said, sent my name out and was talking to other individuals, to Jared over at Blacklist. And, thank you to David. I appreciate it. So, him as well. I had him come on as a guest on my show. Like I said, man, show the love. He did something, helped out when it didn't have to. Cat didn't have to. That's the thing. No one put a gun to anyone's head to help. It was done out of the kindness of their hearts, and that means everything to me. So you do that for me, expect double back from me, because that's just the way I am. And again, for Cat at Sober Patrol, thank you. David Riggins, thank you. And then for, again, coming on my show, so you could share your story. Then there's Dylan and Alicia over at High Sobriety. Seen their show, saw their interviews, just two down to earth people, man. And it was back and forth, setting up interviews or setting up shows, and had to reschedule a few times. But instead of causing an issue, bam, not a problem, man. We'll take care of this. We'll take care of that. And next, we did a show and had a great time. Dylan and Alicia over at High Sobriety. So thank you guys. Then of course, Ty, my sister Ty over at Scar Nation. I was on Scar Nation with Josh and Ty, and I had a great time. Then I had Ty come on my show, talk to me, and tell us a little bit about her story, what was going on. So it's that give and take, and that's what it's all about, man. So, I'm telling you about these people, not only their names, but their podcasts as well. Check them out. You know, they the love and the camaraderie and the motivation and support is there. It's up to people to reach out and take that first step. And it just goes to show you it's right here. And of course, my brother Ian Bick. And, guys, I was just on Ian's show, flew to New York and went and saw Ian in Connecticut in his studio. Again, busy as can be, all the incredible things that Ian has going on. We worked out a time. Yeah, no problem, Manny. Let's do it. He had all these other commitments and all that. No, fit me right in and did his show. And again, it was one of those things that I think it was damn near 2 hours. We were in that studio, just under 2 hours, back and forth. It was just like we knew each other forever. We did that show. And then afterwards, it was another Wonder Talk. Susie almost took out the table just now. Shit. Damn, dog. But after the show with Ian, we sat there and talked for another half hour, 45 minutes or so. And he's like, man, he goes, Manny, that was great. He goes, hit it out of the park. It was a great interview. It was a great show because we just clicked and you could just feel it. It was no dead air. We just were back and forth feeding off each other. And then he's like, listen, man, I want to come to Detroit. I've always wanted to come to Detroit and see some things. And he goes, I'd love to be on your show. And again, here he is, very well established, just like all these other shows as well. And, so here the other day, not only that, but he came on my show on Monday and just a good man. And, just sharing the love as well. So thank you, Ian Bick. Let's see who else we got here. But those are the shows that I was on. And then, Nicole Pearson Chantanea, these are people that I reached out to after, hearing their stories, who left me messages as well, or from other people that told me about them. They came on my show. So, that was an honor to have them come on. So Nicole Pearson Chantanea, man, her story was unbelievable, just like, all of them are. It's just the incredible stories that we share and the people that it helps is just unbelievable. So I want to, big thank you to Nicole. Again, Ian already, I wanted to thank him. Ty that I just talked about over at Star Nation, besides doing, an admin over there, she took the time to come on the show and talk about her story and in turns to help people that are dealing with the things that she was dealing with. I mentioned David Riggins and then Tyler Thompson. He came on as well. Chad Madsen came on as well and shared their stories. So it's give and take, man. And that's how I'm going to continue with My Fight Our War. That will never change. So if you want to come on as a guest on My Fight Our War and you want to share your story of whatever it was as far as addiction, what happened, what got you to that point, and then the process through recovery. If you'd like to share that, by all means, man, hit me up. Send me a post, send me something on Messenger. I'll connect with you and we'll get you on as a guest to share your story to help people as well. And then, of course, with the new show, the new page, Manny Vitale's Wolfpack, that's the one that actually Ian was just on this past Monday. That one is geared towards anything and everything. For instance, I mean, he was on last Monday and we were bullshitting about everything from him and Chevy Chase, hanging out, eating ice cream and, cracking jokes to, him, getting, in trouble through customs at the airport and everything in between. And then the following show that came out on the Wolfpack was anything but a funny situation. And that was with Sean Hunt, the woman that I just had that lost her son. So that's where that's where the Wolfpack page, the Wolfpack podcast is directed at anything and everything that you could think of. And one of the weird things that really, I mean, if it doesn't catch your attention, that God talks to you and gives you that wink, like they said, that God winks, the God wink. And that's what it was with me, because when I started the Wolfpack page and the Wolfpack show, it was for all those who are dealing with issues that they felt stifled. They felt that their voices weren't being heard, and they were felt slighted and disrespected. And after hearing that, that's why I started it. And next thing you know, I ended up meeting a gentleman who is a friend of Sean's, told me her story. And one of the first thing he said was, she is such a, she's such an amazing woman, but unfortunately, all she is noticing is she's being silenced, that her voice isn't being heard. His words. I was just like, oh my God. I go, you know what? I got to talk to her. He approached her, told her about me, what I did and everything. Next thing you know, I gave her the number. She calls me. We talked for about a half hour, and now here we are. We're doing a series on her son. And it was because she said that she was being silenced. Her voice wasn't being heard. Well, that's why I started the Wolfpack page, the Wolfpack podcast, so all voices can be heard. So please, folks, if there's something going on that you want to discuss, if there's something going on with family, friends, good or bad, funny or sad, I mean, no matter where you want to go with it, that's the good thing about this one. A lot of podcasts, a lot of shows, their platform is a very specific platform. My Fight Our War, very specific platform. It's for recovery, addiction, and that's it right there. That's what we discuss. That's what we cover. Um, but the other one, it's whatever comes up, we that we handle it. We deal with it. We talk about it. So like poor Sean, she said she felt like she was alone, and that's a terrible feeling. And that's one thing about all of us that dealt with going through addiction, recovery, and all that. How many times do we hear those same words from people? You feel empty, alone, no one cares, it's over, and that's not the case. And I want to do stuff, I want to do things to help people so they know that they're not alone. So I'm going to keep going with that, and keep pushing that page, as well as My Fight Our War, and just keep helping as long as people are happy with it. So other than that, that's about it, man. Like I said, I just wanted to share some love for the people who shared it with me, because it's only right. It's the right thing to do. People do something good for you. You know, show the love back. And so for all those people that I mentioned, it doesn't go unnoticed. And as you guys know, a lot of times, during a show, I'll I'll get on my little rant, and I start rattling off all these different shows and stuff, because they help me and we help each other. That's what this game's about, man. Sharing the love, helping each other. So other than that, man, that's about it for right now. And I am gonna chill, relax for the rest of the night. Get ready for the let's see, 7:30 is when I have to be there. So that means the surgery is at 9 o'clock. So I will keep you informed on yet another surgery, and let you know how things are going. What I'm actually going to do, I was talking with OG, who's actually, she's a nurse and knew some of the people over at the surgical center. We were trying to work it out to have him film the surgery. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe we could talk him into it. But you guys have a great day. And I'll probably be popping on later, if not for sure tomorrow. So you take care of each other, have fun, love you guys, and as always, man, keep fighting a good fight.